Hello. So this is Outer Worlds 2. Releases on October 29th. I have early access because I purchased the deluxe edition. I believe it releases on Xbox, PlayStation 5, and Windows. This is like kind of an open world action role-playing game. It's very similar to Borderlands or Fallout 3, Fallout 4. I played the first one. It was a lot of fun. It just has a really unique vibe about it, and the kind of futuristic combat mixed with like the old school like Fallout, like New Vegas style. It just has a really unique vibe to it. So I'm going to be kind of giving you a quick review, whether it's worth buying, what I think, what my first impressions are, and all that. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the gameplay and the core loop. So the game feels pretty good to play. The controls are responsive. I'm in third person right now. I personally didn't really enjoy the first person. There are 3 different views you can have of your character here. So if I go to the settings, I can change to third person far, third person near, and first person. So if we go into first person, this is kind of how it looks. You have access to all the scopes the gun has. You can put attachments, mods on your gun, different scopes. There's shotguns, snipers, assault rifles. There's even energy weapons like this, as you can see. Really, really cool. The gameplay itself with the guns feels really good. There's also meleeing. Honestly, the melee to me felt like it needed a little bit of work. It felt really clunky and kind of unresponsive compared to the gunplay. Fighting enemies, one thing I've noticed is that most of the enemies have really high health pools. So obviously I'm early in the game, so maybe I'm a little bit weaker, but like we'll fight this creature right here. So you can see it definitely feels responsive, but early on the enemies do feel a little bit like bullet sponges, I will say. And this thing just goes invisible here. So as you can see, the gunplay is very responsive. There's very unique weapons with unique abilities. You also have this time stop thing here. So it's very similar to like Fallout VATS kind of. Okay. So very easy, good response. There's no dodge rolling or anything like that. All of the animations with the weapons and the fighting are really cool. So if we go back to the idle camera here, there's pretty much no grind really to me, what I can tell so far. I'm pretty much just running around collecting things. This armor I got from the deluxe edition. There's pretty much only chest armor and helmet. There's gear crafting. You can put mods to change your armor functions, your weapon functions. So there's some customizability in your builds. It's pretty fun, and it doesn't feel very grindy. The core mechanics that like stand out to me are definitely the time stop. There's throwables, grenades. There's like plasma and bio weapon grenades. Like I have another gun here that is a biomass pistol. So if you kind of like the sci-fi fantasy, there are different options for you to kind of enjoy the game. Or if you just want to use a revolver, really cool. Very similar to how Fallout has like plasma weapons and laser rifles, and also has like old school revolvers and lever action rifles. So the gameplay in core loop does feel fun. Leveling up is primarily questing. You don't really get too much XP from killing enemies, from what I found. But one of the really good things about this game is that when I see something off in the distance or structures or towers, you can go there. So just like I think the games that do that best are like Skyrim, Elden Ring. When you see something off in the distance that looks cool, you can run across the map and go to it. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are the graphics. So in the top left, I have my performance overlay up. I have a 5070 Ti, 9800X3D, so I have a fairly high-end computer. Right now, I'm on low graphics, so all low, and I'm using about half my GPU. So I typically do play the game on custom, and I'll turn down the reflections and probably just that. So let's apply and see how my computer does. Okay, so I use about 80% of my GPU. So it is a very high graphically intensive game. As you can see in the foliage, there's movement. The tree leaves move. It's pretty consistent. I haven't had any like really bad stuttering or latency latency with the graphics. I would say that it's not optimized as well as it really could be. For example, I play Skyrim Novice Ascension, which is a 600 gigabyte mod pack, and the graphics look a little bit better, and I get better frames. So I would say this does require a fairly high-end computer to play. But as you can see, even the textures off in the distance do look pretty good. The art style itself is very like fantasy, alien. It is really cool. You can travel to different planets. The skies look pretty cool. I mean, look how cool this planet looks off in the distance, right? So I would say, are the clouds moving as well? Yeah, so the clouds even move. So it's really cool. High graphics requirements. The art style, obviously, really unique. It definitely has an interesting vibe to it. I would say that the characters themselves are also done pretty well. So you can see the textures even in my hair, my character's hair. Obviously, I have purple hair and a green mustache, so, you know, it looks a little bit weird. But let's go run up to this NPC here. So the NPCs are all look, you know, pretty cool, pretty unique, good textures. I mean, it's a high graphics requirements game, and if you're into the alien art style, it is really cool. Like this guy has a prosthetic arm, pretty neat. Very Fallout style too, I would say. This is very, very similar. Okay, but you can even see, like right now I have my frames capped at 60, and running around, like moving my camera angle, I am using almost all of my 5070 Ti, so, you know, be prepared. It is does have high requirements. I do think it could be optimized a little bit better, but you know, it is what it is. Very nice coloring. I really like the grass. Like even the grass has so many different greens and purples and blues. I think they did a really good job with the art style. So I also wanted to touch on kind of the world building, the story. I personally am not a big fan of story in general, so I skip a lot of the dialogue, but I kind of get the gist of what's going on. I think they did a good job on the world building for this game. I think that's what stood out in the first one to me, is it really does a good job at engaging you and giving characters personality and depth. So I think that the world building is really, really good. The story itself, if you're into that, I think is also quite good. Me personally, I'm more interested in the gameplay itself, but they do a really good job at world building. Like as you can see, everything looks unique. It's just a really well done story. The characters, it makes you feel like you're in the world. It's very immersive. So I do think that they did a really good job with that. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the sound and music. I do think that the sound is very good. So they have character footsteps that change with the terrain you're on. The guns all have unique sounds. Very responsive. It actually does sound very good, and the timing and all the sounds is good. There's no like lag or delay or anything. So I think it does a really good job. All the NPCs are voice acted. I think it's very unique in games nowadays. They all have like unique voices. It sounds very good. It's very responsive with their like lip movement and everything. The soundtrack is really cool. I don't think it's like as good as, you know, Baldur's Gate or Elden Ring or, you know, those crazy soundtrack games, but it is good. All the characters feel unique, and like you don't hear the same voice a million times for every NPC. So I think they did a really good job with the sound. So let's go in here and just give it an example of this lady talking to us.
Again. Remember not to move.
So as you can see, even her like face moves, her eyes move.
Oh, how he does like to test the reflexes of others. What can I do for you?
So as you can see, the sound, I think, is one of the things that stand out in this game for sure. The responsiveness is just really good. The music is good. They did a really good job, I think, with voice acting all of the NPCs. Yeah, I mean, I would say the dialogue is very unique too. It's very quirky. So if you're into that kind of like goofy, having fun, like, I mean, really, really cool. So overall, sound quality is one of the standouts. I do think it's really good. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the UI and just quality of life of the game. So I actually think that the UI could be a little bit better. The tutorials, the UI, the like core mechanics of the game itself are a little bit confusing. The mini map we'll look at right here. So you have a local map and a region map. There's fast traveling. It is pretty easy to see like where things are, like once you discover it, like, you know, here's the clinic, here's the saloon, et cetera, et cetera. I can fast travel to all of the blue points. So I do think the mini map is done really well, but the inventory management system I think is a little clunky to me, and just like the stats on the weapons is just weird to me. Like, I don't know, like evasion chance, like it's just weird. Like I actually have to like read through, like, you know, I click on this, I have to read through a whole paragraph to figure out what the heck this range scanner mod does. So the UI, a little bit overwhelming. The first like hour I played, I was trying to really figure things out, where to go, how to do things. Like picking up all the, like the healing was really weird to me. Like you have to pick up food and drink and just heal a percentage of your max health. So it's really kind of strange. Like, and then I have like these locked slots. It doesn't tell me how to unlock them. I assume I'll figure it out later on in the story, or I have to craft something. But even the crafting, I had to figure out you have to go onto the main ship and go to the crafting bench to do. So I would say that the overall UI is okay and manageable, but it's not as easy for someone just starting off trying to figure things out. Like you actually have to go in and kind of guess where things are and like assume. So I do think that the UI could be a little bit better, but I will give them points on the map. I think is really good. And the quick access menu is okay. So like if I press G, I have throwables, and Q, I can use my gadgets. And then with X, I can switch between my gadgets. And with 5, I can switch between my throwables. So I do think that that is pretty well done. But overall, the inventory, I'm not a huge fan of. I do like this, how that lists your ammo types on the bottom so you can see how much ammo you have. So that's nice. But overall, the UI, nothing really too terrible, nothing really good. The stats for your character, I was kind of annoyed at. Like, all it displays is your health, XP, and gadget energy. It doesn't tell me, like, my damage or crit chance. If I want to see that, I actually have to go into my inventory, look at the weapon stats, and that's, you know, there's all my stats right there. So me personally, I like having a one-stop shop where I just have the character screen that shows all of my stats with all of my armor and weapons equipped. So that's one thing I wish they had. Your skills, I think the skills and perks are a little bit weird. You can favorite the perks, and then it'll tell you which skills you need to unlock them. So like, for example, this skill, I need engineering 3 with 4 or more total perks purchased. So I think the customization and building of your character is a little bit confusing, especially with, there's no stats that you have to get for your character. It's all based on your skills. So a little bit different and a little bit strange. I am just kind of playing through the game and making sure I unlock these skills that allow me to explore. So I don't really care about damage or anything like that, but I do see how you can have build customization if you want to be an assassin. There's like sneak or melee guns, medical and science, observation, speech, leadership. So pretty standard skills. I just think it's a little strange trying to navigate this at first. Like the UI is just a little bit confusing to me. You also have reputation for all of the factions you'll encounter. And then, like I said, the inventory, just, you know, everything's just a little tiny bit clunky. I wish it was a little bit better, but the map is saving grace. The map is pretty easy to figure out, and it, you know, tells you what everything is. So that's pretty much it for the UI. So my overall final impressions for the game, I do really like the art style and the voice acting and dialogue. I think it's done really well. The gunplay is very smooth. The melee could use some work. Overall, it's very unique and quirky, and the vibe is very fun, enjoyable, and goofy, kind of like Fallout or like Skyrim. It kind of has that like goofiness to it. So I would say overall, it's a good game. I would not recommend it on release. I would personally tell you to wait until there is a discount of some kind. I personally paid, you know, for the deluxe edition. I don't think it was worth it. I would say wait for a sale. I think this is more so like a $40 game than it is a $60 or $70 or $100 game. Overall, it does feel good if you're a big fan of adventure RPG games. I think it's probably worth playing if you can get it on sale. So let me know if you guys have tried it, what your first impressions are. I mean, it's only been out for a day or two, so you know, I invite you to give me your opinions, or if you found something or want to discuss something, feel free to leave a comment and like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.